And so when I say Chinese, I want you to scream out the nation that's associated with this. For example, if I say Chinese, you're going to say what?
China.
All right, let's say it with authority. When I say Chinese, you say what? China. All right, that's just a test right there. So here we go. Chinese.
China.
Russian.
Russia.
Italian.
Italy.
German.
Germany.
Swedish.
Sweden.
Korean.
Korea.
Egyptian.
Egypt.
Nigerian.
Nigeria.
Black.
Exactly. Nothing. Tell him, Pastor. Tell him, Pastor. Black, nothing.
I hope you were able to successfully identify the issue.
The lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. They want us to sell our souls to barter profit, like God's property. It's hard to market, so we steady to aim, keep your eyes on target. 'Cause when you got to drive, yeah, they'd rather you park it. But I don't valet, you ain't getting these keys. I'm keeping closed hands, I'm on bended knee. I'm just a reflection, dealing with 8 sections. Art mixed with life, you can feel the convection. Your lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said the lion won't sleep tonight, 'cause we woke now, and we woke now. I said
The same people that have stripped us of our identity and labeled us as a color have told us what it means to be black.
Assalamualaikum. In the 13th tribe, Arthur Koestler traces the origin of Eastern Europe's Jewish population that was largely decimated by the Nazi onslaught during the Second World War. Through extensive research, he discusses the history of a trading empire that was set up by a tribe known as the Khazars. The Khazar Empire was located between the expanding power blocks of Christianity and Islam, and the people were converted to Judaism by their king as a way of standing apart from both. The Khazarians and their wealth were dispersed through the countries of Eastern Europe after the collapse of the Khazar Empire. The Khazarians were not a Semitic people, that they called themselves Jews after their conversion to Judaism is as absurd as the Chinese Muslims calling themselves Arabs. The Khazarians were not a Semitic people, that they called themselves Jews after their conversion to Judaism is as absurd as the Chinese Muslims calling themselves Arabs. It is their descendants who later started the campaign for European Jews to return to Palestine, a land their ancestors never set foot on. The European Jews, i.e. descendants of Khazarians, were not descendants of Prophet Abraham, therefore bringing into question the legality of their claim on the Promised Land. This book had been out of print for many years and has only recently been republished.
So, a little over 1,000 years ago, as Jewish people scattered around the world had now emigrated in Europe and now were living in the Rhineland in Germany, they looked at the name Gomer in Genesis 10, and they connected Gomer with Germany, so they took on the identity of the name Ashkenaz. It has nothing to do with Ashkenaz in the Bible, which is a descendant of Japhet. It's just a name that was taken. Okay, it's that simple. Just like my last name Brown doesn't refer to the color of my skin or anything else. It was shortened from a Russian name when my grandfather came over at Ellis Island. The name got shortened to Brown. It's just a name. That's all it is. So the idea that Ashkenazi Jews are descended from Japhet is a myth. 100% false.
Why do you think that the U.S. is so quick to go help Israel fight against the Palestinians? Why? They know that the Jewish people in Israel are not the original people. Oh, no, no, no. They are definitely not. The original people are black people and people of color. So why did one lady, Judith Shore, she was an Israeli consul, say that the biggest threat in Israel is the younger black community? Why do they feel so threatened? Why? Because you know why? They know that the black people were the original chosen ones, the original ones that were there. The people over there now, they took over all that land, just like they're trying to take over all of Palestine. They have taken so much land from Palestine also. But watch what this lady says about the black community being Israel's biggest problem. The black community being Israel's biggest problem. The black community being Israel's biggest problem.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black Lives Matter starts there. I had last week a sit-down dinner at my house with 40 people, which are considered the leadership of the black community.
I have said to people when they ask me if this capital crumbled to the ground, the one thing that would remain is our commitment to our aid. And I don't even call it aid, our cooperation with Israel. Because that's fundamental, our cooperation with Israel. Because that's fundamental, our cooperation.
Like what? Did you just tell on yourselves that, you know, how y'all took slaves out of there back in the day and brought them, you know, and made them make America and all this because you took them from their original spot. And now they are trying to sit there and continue to take all the little bit of land that Palestine has. The U.S. is evil. The U.S. is evil, not the people in it, because I am from the U.S. But what I'm saying, all the ish is crazy. We have U.S. soldiers over there going to sit there and kill innocent kids, women, children, elderly men, everything in Palestine. But how did black people, all of a sudden, young black people, and the community of black people, all of a sudden become the problem to Israel? Please explain this to me. Is it
today? It is prohibited, and you can Google this, to do a DNA test in Israel. Totally forbidden. Wrong. It's illegal. It's a crime. You'll be jailed if you do a DNA test in Israel. Why? Because they know the truth will come out. You come from Poland, you come from Ukraine, you came from Europe, you came from everywhere else. And they were the original Middle Eastern Jews who lived together with the Muslims and the Christians for centuries. For centuries. So what happened to a lot of the Jews?
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient Israel, that's who we are. That's who we are. So if you give me time, if you give me time,
but
all that he said,
I know. We don't have
so many years.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of notes. And I promise we'll give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you.
All right.
I'm hearing some of your traditions. It's like the days of the Bible.
Yes.
Do you want to remain ancient Israelites or you want to be Jews? Do you want to remain ancient Israelites or you want to be Jews?
Now I can't figure it out. If y'all are the chosen ones, shouldn't y'all be obeying better than me? I mean, I even try to keep the fourth commandment. Try to keep the Sabbath day holy. I've spent many of hours trying to figure out which is the right Sabbath day, because we know that old Catholic Church, something a little fishy about them, don't we? With that white Jesus. I mean, here's a white guy telling you black people that your Messiah is not a long-haired white European guy. Your Messiah is Hebrew, my darker-skinned brothers and sisters. When are you guys going to wake up and become kings and queens?
The Jews are black, and their originally homeland would come from Ethiopia, and that was over 12,000 years. That's where they sprang from, and that's another thing. Here's the continent of Africa, but they say that's Middle East. That's part of Africa, but they changed the name.
Yes.
To just throw you off, okay?
KJ, you gotta come here, all right? I gotta show you.
I gotta leave soon,
I know
man.
you have
I gotta
to
get
leave.
out of
Listen
here.
to me. Okay, so I'm watching TV like a year ago, all right? I'm watching one of those History Channel shows, trying to learn. And I stumble. You ever hear African Jews?
African Jews?
Yeah. No, right? No.
Looking for everybody to be a Jew.
Check this out. I don't know, all right? So these are black Jews, all right? They're stranded in the middle of Ethiopia.
Okay, I was just thinking about this morning. I grew up Baptist. I went to Vacation Bible School. I've read the Bible. I don't know if I'm interpreting it correctly, but if we are made in God's image, right, and the first modern humans originated in Africa, if God has a human form, God is black. God is black.
I was a Christian missionary for years, but there came a time in my life when I realized that what I was taught about the Bible was a lie. In my confusion, I cried out for help. I met an Israelite who introduced me to the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, who is described in the Bible as having hair white as wool and eyes red as fire. Yes, the God in the Bible is black.
It does not matter what color Jesus was. What matters is that he came to the earth, lived a perfect life, died a death for the sins of the world, and then conquered the grave, proving that he is the Son of God. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
It just doesn't matter. 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 It just doesn't matter.
And you know what else, Jim? I just want to say this to our Christian friends, you know, just to call it as it is and say it straight out, you know, you guys are worshiping one Jew. That's a mistake. You should be worshiping every single one of us, because we all die for your sins every single day. And that's exactly what's going on here. Yeah. We're all God's firstborn, and we're dying for your sins right now because the Jewish people in the land of Israel are the bulwark against the orcs. Mm-hmm. Okay? The orcs are coming not to a theater near you, but to your home.
For the righteous, they exist in the world to come, and they're rewarded. And for those whose major complexion is black, are excluded from the world to come. Major complexion is black, are excluded from the world to come. Major complexion is black, are excluded from the world to come. For the righteous, they exist in the world to come, and they're rewarded. And for those whose major complexion is black, are excluded from the world to come.
Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you. If you repeat this fact, they can't laugh at you.
Want to say peace and blessings to everyone. Hope all is well with you guys. Ran a few minutes late, but did want to at least start off with the intro like we normally do, to show some clips there. And I know that I get asked this from time to time from just a handful of people. Why do I show the clips that I've shown for years since I started this channel? I started showing others, whether it's celebrities, whomever, stating the truth about who we are, or Caucasians, Asians, whomever, stating who we are. See, family, that is not for you guys. That's for those that are still trying to figure this out. I get a lot of emails. From Caucasians, from Mexicans, from different people that said that those little clips that you see help them. So it's not for you guys. And no, we don't need others to justify who we are. But at the same time, the scripture does say that the other nations will, all around the world, where our names were, where we have become a byword, that those same areas, they'll start praising Israel. They'll start praising us, who, being the people of the book. The same things that they were putting out there, the negative things that they were putting out there, that they're going to pull those things back by saying what? Exactly who we are, giving us the respect that we are due, So that's in the scriptures. You read Zephaniah chapter 3. There's other scriptures I can point to, how the Most High even said he was going to use other nations to carry our children over their shoulders. So, I just want to make it clear that I am not posting or showing those clips just to give the suggestion that we need others to justify who we are. It's not for us, it's for them. Truth be told, it's for them. Just like we need to properly identify everyone within that our holy scriptures. Likewise, they need to identify with accuracy the different key players of the scriptures. So I just want to give some clarity here on that. And matter of fact, let me do something here. Well, I want to upload a couple of clips, didn't have time to do it. I want to get this started. So as we get into this lesson, we can actually play some of these clips. So tonight, what I wanted to do, I'm sure you guys remember the situation a year ago. I call it the perfect storm. The perfect storm. You had this situation with Whoopi Goldberg, and then followed by that, you had the situation. As that was dying down, you had the situation with Kanye West, or Kanye West, however you want to say his name or whatever. Then you had, and no disrespect to him in terms of his name. And then you had the Kyrie Irving. So I call it the perfect storm because, it was like, I want to say the last 6 months of last year. It was a lot of information being shared. So many people I was able to witness to, like you guys have as well, that searching for the truth. That's searching for the truth. All right. So let me upload this real quick, or at least let me get this started, and then we could go get right into the lesson. Let me see if I could pull it up here. Is this it right here? Man, I got so many clips here, but let me see here. 1, 2, 3. I am not sure. Well, let's do this. Let's start with these 3. And if they're wrong, these are not the ones that I am looking for, then I will upload a different 3. All right, let's see here. Let's see if these are the ones that I am looking for. And we'll kind of use this as we get into the lesson. So it's a couple of clips I want to play, but we're just going to go ahead and get into it. We're going to get into the lesson. We'll kind of touch a little bit on Kanye and Kyrie, but I really want to get into some of the fact checks about Ron Dalton's book, Hebrews to Negroes. because I did this a year ago. I did it on a friend of mine, comedian Moxie approved. If you're not subscribed to his channel, subscribe to it. I did a fact check. We did a fact check, or should I say a review of the movie Hebrews to Negroes. And I mean, I believe that video got almost, if not over 200,000 views a year ago. And then just on this platform alone, just the collection of all the videos I've done off of that got, I want to say easily 500,000 to 1 million views just off of dealing with that subject. But nevertheless, I do want to, again, I want to kind of go over that, do some fact checking of that, and give you clarity, answer some questions. And if you have questions, feel free to post it inside the comment section. And I'm not sure if my cousin Benaiah is in the building. I'm not sure, but I'll drop the link just in case he is, because I know we were supposed to do a live. I know, and another thing I want to apologize for. I know we were going to do a interview with Cohen Hamadishi. I believe got the time mixed up or whatever. So we'll reschedule for next week, prayerfully. So I'm going to go ahead and put this inside the chat. So Benaiah, if you're watching and you want to jump on, feel free at any time. So, but family, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's do a little, just touch on a few things just to kind of set the tone from what took place last year. And as you see, year later, right? Kyrie and Kanye. All right. There was like I said, there was a lot that went on last year. There was a lot. Somebody says a loud whistling in my background. Let me make sure that my mic is set correctly. Oh, my apologies. Thank you for catching that. Whoever posted that. Let me fix my mic. I forgot to fix my mic. Let me fix my mic. Let me see here. I know you guys hear the noise in the background. I forgot to turn my mic on. My main mic. All right. My apologies. All right, let's see if we can fix it now. All right, let's try this now. All right, I'm giving a mic check here. How is my mic? Is that better? I did not have my microphone connected, so I was actually using the mic from my earphones. So I didn't realize that it was off. So if this sounds better, type 1, or just type yes. All right. So my apologies, but thank you guys for catching it early. All right. Thank you guys. So before we get into it, let's give some shout outs here. I see some super chats here. So let's go ahead and go through our super chats before we get started. I see Finding My True Self. I want to say peace and blessings to you. Thank you for the contributions. Really appreciate it. And family, let's show some love to My True Self. Thank you. Really appreciate the love and support. Also, Araya Alahayim, want to give some shout outs to you as well. Thank you for the super sticker as well. And also, let's give a special shout out to Michael Dukaman. Thank you as well for the love and support. And family, let's show some love for our brothers and sisters that made these contributions tonight. And I really appreciate it. And I don't take it lightly. I don't take it lightly. So thank you guys for the love and support. Really appreciate you guys. So again, let's show some love for our brothers and sisters. All right. So let's go ahead and get into it. And I'll see one more here, and I'll give this shout out before we get into it. Lisa Jackson, want to say thank you as well. And family, let's also show some love for Sister Jackson. Really appreciate the love and support again. Shalom. Thank you. And I hope and pray you guys had a blessed Shabbat. I pray all of you guys had a blessed Shabbat as well, and show some love for T of Yah as well. I want to say peace and blessings to you, T of Yah. Thank you for the contributions, and let's show some love, family. All right. And thank you guys again for the love and support. We're having a surge here, like an end of the year surge. I know we started this year off with the goal of hitting 50,000 subscribers. And I know we were sitting for the first half of the year was kind of really sluggish. YouTube was doing their thing to hinder the channel. You guys know how that goes. But over the past month or two, we just really, I want to say the past month, really hit a surge. So the goal is to hit 50,000. I tell you, we came a long way just over the past 2 to 3 years. We just double and tripled every year. So really appreciate you guys. But let's go to get into it. A year later, Kyrie and Kanye. A year later, Kyrie and Kanye. A year later. There was a lot that went on last year, but a year later, we're going to deal with some of the things that they had to deal with a year ago, but primarily, I really want to touch on some of the things that was put out there through the media. All right. So a year later, Kyrie and Kanye. All right. Let's see here. So what triggered the Kyrie Irving tsunami? Because that was a major tsunami. What triggered it? What triggered that tsunami? Well, this is a post that he made on Twitter, now known as X, I believe. I believe it or not, you guys may find this hard to believe. I don't have a Twitter account. I don't, even though I'm a technology guy, but I'm just not one of those that just really big into all the different platforms, and also for security reasons. But nevertheless, this is the post that he made. This is the post that he made. And before you know it, he had to give an account, so to speak. He was being held accountable for this movie. It caused such a firestorm to where as though, let me see if I could bring that interview up. I was trying to bring it here so you guys can get some of the clips of what occurred. But he had to deal with a lot of backlash just for making a simple post. He didn't put any commentary on it or anything, but he received a lot of backlash just for making a post. You would think that he was the one that wrote the movie. You would think that he was the one that actually produced Hebrews to Negroes. The way that he was getting the feedback, the way that he was being held accountable, you would have thought that he was the one that actually wrote, produced, and put the movie out there. They're really going in on him very hard. And let me see if I can pull up some of that interview here. Let's see. I may have enough room to do it, but let's see here. They were calling him all kinds of names. Shaquille O'Neal contradicting himself. It was really bad. It was really bad. So I'm going to upload this here. Let me see if I can get it all in. If I can, then I'll show. Let's see here. Can't get it in. Let me see if I can remove a couple of videos. Right now, I don't need this clip here. Let me take a few clips out. Yeah, I'll take a few clips out. I'll make a note to do these again in the future. All right. Let me take out this one. All right. All right. So let me try to upload these videos. Let me get a couple more clips in here. All right. This should at least give us enough to refresh you guys with Kyrie Irving. All right. So let's try this again. let's see if this is the one that I'm looking for. Hopefully this is the one. If not, we'll work through it. So while that's loading up, I'll play some of those clips as once it finishes with the upload. Once it completes the upload, I'll play it. All right. So, but this is the post that he made. And again, if you left it up to how the media went in on him, I mean, they went in on him hard for making a post. Right? Didn't, like I said, he didn't put any commentary to it, but this is the post that he made. And again, he was in a nutshell, they were forcing him to give an account for a movie that he didn't put together. He just made a simple post. So, I mean, ESPN ran with it. I mean, I tell you, Charles Barkley, of course, Stephen A. Smith, Shaquille O'Neal. I mean, they just went in on him. All right. So when the upload is completed, I will play a few of those videos. But yeah, we'll touch on that here as we progress in this lesson here. All right. So why was Kyrie Irving right when he said he cannot be anti-Semitic? I asked you guys the question. We'll go through it here. But was Kyrie Irving correct when he said that he cannot be anti-Semitic? Because that's what he said in the interview. He said he can't be anti-Semitic because he know himself. I mean, was Kyrie Irving correct when he said that he cannot be anti-Semitic? Was he correct? He said he know himself. So let's go ahead and let me see here. I was checking on the upload, still uploading. What triggered the Kanye West tsunami? What triggered the Kanye West tsunami? This is what triggered the issues for him. This is what triggered the issues that he had to deal with. Right? And I'll read it here. All right. And I want to make it clear because, I know people are watching. We have trolls and so forth. So I want to make it clear that Kyrie Irving, Kanye West, their thoughts, their opinions does not reflect or does not equate to whatever they believe equate to what we believe on We Woke Now. So I want to just put that disclaimer here, because this right here, I know many will try to run with it and try to say that we support this here. When I wake up, I am going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Quite honestly, family, no matter how we look at it, he should not have wrote this here. He already knew that he was setting himself up. He says here, I'm a bit sleepy tonight. When I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because Black people are actually Jews. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone, whoever opposes your agenda. Now, when we get to this portion of it, when it says funny thing, I actually can't be anti-Semitic, we're going to deal with that here. We're going to answer this question. And then we see here, try to blackball anyone, whoever opposes your agenda. And I didn't get a chance to put some of the clips up here, but there's a lot of people, starting with the Jewish community as we know them. I have a number of clips with them saying that Kanye was right. Kanye was right about the media. Kanye was right about whoever opposes their agenda in terms of look at what we're dealing with right now. We have some of the things that, what's his name? Michael Rappaport, his racist rant that he went on, calling us, what was it? Sick, dumb, uneducated, black tar, and made it clear in a very conniving, uh, ugly voice when he said that. Yeah, he said they control the media. He said they're very good at what they do. Throwing it in our face, really insulting us. All right. So the question would be, when you understand the true definition of Semitic, you can understand where this question would come from. But what I highlighted here is what really got him in trouble. It says, when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. That's what really got him in trouble. That's what really set things off. That's what really set things off, right? But again, we're going to go through this. But I have Kyrie Irving. Let's see if this is the original interview. So I'm going to play the interview and let's see how Kyrie Irving responds to it. Here we go.
Am I to take it that this was what you shared was not something that you've even watched? This was you did watch it, or either watch it or read it.
I had a lot of time to read a lot, read a whole bunch, good and bad, about the truth of our world.
So then, do you, I guess, understand or not understand those that might imply that work had anti-Semitic leanings in it? I only ask this because the tweet is still up there, so
We're in 2022. It's on Amazon, a public platform. Whether you want to go watch it or not is up to you. There's things being posted every day. I am no different than the next human being, so don't treat me any different. You guys come in here and make up this powerful influence I have over top of the adultery of, oh, you cannot post that. Why not? Why not? I don't hear uproar of that. I'm not here to be divisive on what's going on this or that. I'm not comparing Jews to blacks. I'm not comparing white to black. I'm not doing that. That conversation is dismissive, and it constantly revolves around the rhetoric of who are the chosen people of God. And I'm not here to argue over a person or a culture or religion on what they believe. No, this is what is here. It's on a public platform. Did I do anything illegal? Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did I do anything illegal? Did I hurt anybody? Did I harm anybody? Am I going out and saying that I hate one specific group of people? So out of all the judgment that people got from me posting, I just, without talking to me, and then I respect what Joe said, but there has a lot to do with the not ego or pride of how proud I am to be an African heritage, but also to be living as a free black man here in America, knowing the historical complexities for me to get here. So I'm not going to stand down on anything that I believe in. I'm only going to get stronger because I'm not alone. I have a whole army around me.
Kyrie, while we're on the topic of promotion, why did you decide to promote something that Alex Jones said?
That was a few weeks ago. I do not stand with Alex Jones' position, narrative, court case that he had with Sandy Hook, or any of the kids that felt like they had to relive trauma, or parents that had to relive trauma, or to be dismissive to all the lives that were lost during that tragic event. My post was a post from Alex Jones that he did in the early 90s or late 90s about secret societies in America of occults, and it's true. So I wasn't identifying with anything of being a campaignist for Alex Jones or anything. I'm just there to post, and it's funny, and it's actually hilarious because out of all the things I posted that day, that was the one post that everyone chose to see. It just goes back to the way our world is and works. I'm not here to complain about it. I just exist.
And to follow up on the promotion of the movie and the book.
So that's the initial interview that just sent the media, things just went way out there when it came to him just stating that, man, he uploaded, didn't even upload, just made a Twitter post about a movie that he watched. And when you really think about it,
You know, think about some of the movies that are still up there, like Birth of a Nation. Think about the movies that are still up there, like Birth of a Nation. I'm not sure if you guys saw that old movie, Birth of a Nation. It's on all the platforms, not just Amazon. But we don't see a push to have those taken down. There's a lot of movies that literally mock our people, mock our community, downplay what we had to go through. And it's still out there. We see the contradictions on ESPN about the basketball player, the Caucasian basketball player that plays for OKC, had an inappropriate relationship with an underage junior high school girl. Crickets. Stephen A. Smith and all those guys' approach is completely different. But when it came to Kyrie Irving, when it came to some of the other people from within our community, like what's his name? UK Udoka from the Boston Celtics, who had an inappropriate relationship with someone within the organization. They put him out there, but they didn't put the woman out there. Didn't give her name or anything. The double standards. The football player, the Caucasian football player that beat a sister that he was married to down to a pulp, almost killed her. Crickets. Crickets. You know, the president that's over the MMA, I can't remember his name, slapped his wife in public, not once, but a couple of times. Stephen A. Smith didn't have that same smoke for him. Come on, family. We see it right in front of our, we see it right in front of our face. Dana White, appreciate it, family. We see it right in front of our face. So now, Kyrie Irving, or at that time, was asked to be accountable for a movie that he didn't make. He just shared a link. He just shared a link. But he was held accountable for it. Now, I uploaded a few more videos. Let me see if these videos is going to get into the other portion. I didn't put it all up here. Let me see if I can add one more. If I can put one more up here, I'll put it up here. Because I want to hear the part where he said, when he made the comment about anti-Semitic. All right. If not, then we'll just have to do it out. Let me see here. Let's go to. Let me see. Is that one? Yeah. Let me put this part 2 here. I think it's this one. Not sure if I have enough space for it. Yeah. I think I may have too much. Let me see if I can get rid of one more video. Let me play this clip and let's see if this clip has enough or it looks, yeah. Let me see if I can play this clip. And if this clip has enough in it, then I wouldn't need to. Actually, no, it's not doing it. Let me remove this clip right here and see if it'll clear out a little more space. Let me see here. All right. And I want to say fair use because I tell you, you know, all kinds of things, man. People doing all kinds of stuff on these channels. These YouTube streets can be very, very dangerous. Let me see if I can put the second clip here. And then we'll get into some of the things to kind of respond to this, like how we did a year ago. to the whole ordeal. So again, I want to make this clear with the whole Kanye West situation, what you see on your screen when it says that when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people. He did apologize for what he posted, but again, he shouldn't have posted that. Regardless of his intentions, that should not have been posted. He was wrong for that right there. But when we go to the next portion of it, where it says the funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because Black people are actually Jews also. You guys have toyed with me, and that's another portion that he expressed for us. He said, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda. And see, you guys saw some of the videos that I uploaded. You had billionaires going after college students, that attend Harvard, trying to get their names revealed so that way they can blacklist their careers because they're not supporting the Israelis. You see what's happening with our community. A lot of our community is being put on blast because many are just saying, hey, look, we're not taking one side or another. Hey, I'm going to get to a certain portion of that in this lesson, but hey, both sides had our people as slaves. The Arabs, that's what led right into the transatlantic world war. And then when we look at the transatlantic world war, and I'm going to prove it here because, family, I'm going to show you facts. I'm going to show you that it was the Roman Catholic Church, it was the Muslims, as far as Islam, and Judaism that enslaved our people. But yet we are the ones that are being pressured to take a side. Look, and for the Palestinian people that's going through whatever you're going through, we've already been there, done that. Actually, the playbook really comes from our community in terms of what's being done over there. We done had 3 dozen of our communities bombed. Not one community, over 3 dozen communities of ours in 1918, which they call it Red Summer. And the reason why they call it Red Summer is because the blood that was shed. The blood. This is before Tulsa, Oklahoma situation that occurred. I believe it was in 1922 or 1923. That was kind of like the tail end of it. Gentrification. We dealing with that over and over again. Gentrification. Our ancestors had properties literally taken from them. Look at what's happening in, the coast, like North Carolina, South Carolina, the Gullah Geechee people, our relatives, our people. Look at what's happening to them. Being forced out of their properties. Look at gentrification within our communities. What do we own inside our community as a people? We don't own the gas stations. We don't own the distributors that are distributing hair products to the beauty salons and all those things. We don't own those things. We don't own the banks. Man, we don't even own that cheap Family Dollar thing. We don't own nothing in our community. We don't own those project apartments. Who owns it? Come on, family. We've been wearing that T-shirt for hundreds of years. Hundreds and hundreds of years. Anyway, we've been wearing that T-shirt in this country from the conception of this country. But even before this country, we've been wearing the T-shirt. Being called savages and barbaric and all kinds of names being sold, our children being raped, molested, all kinds of stuff. Come on, family. All right. So let's see here. Let me play a couple of more clips and then we'll get right back into it, because I know I have a lot to cover. But let's see if this covers the first portion when he mentions Semitic. Here we go.
With a week of hindsight, are you sorry for the hurt that your post caused people?
I'll take my responsibility for posting that. Some things that were questionable in there, untrue. Like I said, and the first time you guys asked me when I was sitting on that stage, I don't believe everything that everybody posts. It's a documentary. So I'll take my responsibility.
It seems like Adam Silver wanted to hear the word "I apologize," or in your mind, you said, "I didn't mean to cause any harm." Were you apologizing, or did you not apologize?
I didn't mean to cause any harm. I'm not the one that made the documentary.
What are the specific things in the documentary that you don't believe are true and that you don't believe represent your wrongs?
I think some of the criticism of the Jewish faith in the community, for sure. Some points made in there that were unfortunate.
Kyrie, are you surprised that you did hurt people?
Surprised that I did hurt people?
Are you surprised that reaction and some of the things that you did hurt people?
Yeah, I think I can ask a better question. It's just, where were you when I was a kid, figuring out that 300 million of my ancestors are buried in America? Where were you guys asking those same questions when I was a kid learning about the traumatic events of my familial history and what I'm proud to come from and why I'm proud to stand here and why when I repeat myself that I'm not going to stand down, it has nothing to do with dismissing any other race or group of people. I'm just proud of my heritage and what we've been through. And the fact that this has pinned me against the Jewish community. And I'm here answering questions of whether or not I'm sorry or not on something I didn't create. And it was something I shared. And I'm telling everybody I'm taking responsibility. Then that's where I sit. So, these same questions that you guys ask, me dealing with it as being a melanated, pigmented person all around the world and dealing with racial biases against my skin color, demeaning me because of my religious beliefs, and I'm still sitting in the seat standing. I take my full responsibility. Again, I'll repeat it, for posting something on my Instagram or Twitter that may have had some unfortunate falsehoods in it. But I also am a human being that's 30 years old, and I've been growing up in a country that's told me that I wasn't worth anything, and I came from a slave class, and I come from a people that are meant to be treated the way we get treated every day. So I'm not here to compare anyone's atrocities or tragic events that their families have dealt with generations of time. I'm just here to continue to expose things that our world continues to put in darkness. I'm a light. I'm a beacon of light. That's what I'm here to do. You guys ask me questions about basketball, I give you my expert opinion. You guys ask me about other things, I give you my opinion, and it's met with whatever you believe the perception or the deception is. You guys investigate my life every day, and you justify it by serving your own purpose, which I honor. I would like the same respect in return.
Sorry about that, family. I was trying to get the other videos, and I'm trying to clear a few more videos to get the part about the anti-Semitic. Let me just look at what I have here, because I thought I had that portion of I do have the portion of the interview, but I want to make sure that I have enough room to upload it. So let me see if I can clear out a couple more things. Actually, I can clear out this video. I don't need this one. Let's see. Where he mentions about how can he be Shemitic. Let me see. Let me remove one more video, and that should get us going. I'll remove this one right here. All right. And let me upload the last two videos here, and then we'll play those videos, and we'll cover the angle of anti-Semitic, right? What is anti-Semitic? And unfortunately, most of us don't really know and understand what anti-Semitic is according to the Jewish community as we know them, because it is a different definition of what we think. Because honestly, just what Kyrie Irving did, he quoted from a dictionary of what Semitic is. That's why he said, how can I be anti or hate myself, something to that effect. So once this one is uploaded, is going through it right now. Once it's uploaded, we'll play it. Let me see. I'm gonna add one more. I think I have enough space here. There we go. I have enough to add one more here. All right. So while those are uploading, we'll get to it. So let's go ahead and progress here in this this lesson tonight. And let's see where we are. All right. So again, I want to make it clear. This is where what got Kanye West in trouble is what I highlighted right here. That's what got Kanye West in trouble. That's what really stirred up a lot of the stuff that he had to deal with. Also, with Kyrie, as I pointed out, they were trying to make Kyrie Irving be responsible for, as you see, a movie that he didn't make. So that's what was the whole gripe that he had. And he was not trying to allow them to make him be accountable for a movie that he did not make. All right. So let's see here. Yeah, I see that one is uploaded. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna let the other one upload before we. Yep, they both uploaded. So let me play these next two, and then we'll go ahead and get into some additional points I want to make with the presentation. Here we go.
It's unfortunate timing that we're in, but I'm glad that I could stand on the truth because I'm not afraid of these mics, these cameras. I used to be looking everyone in the eye and telling them the truth, and I'm proud of who I am. Any label that you put on me, I'm able to dismiss because I study. I know the Oxford Dictionary, you look it up, right? Just one of the biggest mistakes I had in being a kid was not knowing European or Western language until I started looking it up and understanding the definitions and why they say, if you want to trick a black person, put it in a book. I was wondering my whole life why they said that. Now I'm 30 years old and I know reading is a superpower because it helps me understand where I'm going and where I come from. Like a tree with roots.
Kyrie, the documentary listed among falsehoods. It said the Holocaust didn't happen. Do you believe the Holocaust
those falsehoods
happened?
are unfortunate. And it's not that I don't believe in the Holocaust. I never said that. Never, ever have said it. It's not come out of my mouth. I never tweeted it. I never liked anything like it. So the Holocaust in itself is an event that means something to a large group of people that suffered something that could have been avoided. No one said we had to practice racism. No one said we had to treat each other like garbage.
Kyrie, for the record, do you have any anti-Semitic beliefs?
Again, I'm gonna repeat. I don't know how the label becomes justified because you guys ask me the same questions over and over again. But this is not gonna turn into a spin around cycle of questions upon questions. I told you guys how I felt. I respect all walks of life and embrace all walks of life. That's where I sit.
I think what people want to hear, though, is just a yes or no on that question. Yes or no.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
And that's what I wanted you guys to hear. And see, when and he made it clear. That's why he mentioned the Oxford Dictionary. Because according to the Oxford Dictionary, you're going to see what I'm going to share with you. But that's not what's listed in the documents coming from the Jewish community as we know them. So we're going to give clarity. We're going to see exactly how they define anti-Semitism versus what we would think when you go to the Oxford Dictionary, you see the meaning of these words. All right, so let's go ahead and go into it. Let's get into it. So that's why I wanted to kind of show those clips of exactly what he said, so that way we could kind of use that as a a baseline to move forward. All right. So again, I want to make it clear, Kanye West, he should not have posted this right here, regardless of the intent. When he should not have posted this right here. I just want to make that clear. He apologized for it. I'm not going to upload the apology that he made, but he did apologize for it. But again, he should never have made this post. Had this inside his post. No matter what he was feeling. But here, this is the argument that we have, right? He says, how can we be anti-Semitic? He says, actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jews. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda. All right. So do you believe Kanye was correct about not fully understanding how anti-Semitism is defined? Because he did say that he didn't understand how anti-Semitism is defined. I'm going to play that clip here shortly. What is anti-Semitic? What is it? Right? If you go to the Encyclopedia Britannica, this is what it's going to tell you. Anti-Semitism, hostility towards or discrimination against Jews as a religious or racial group. The term anti-Semitism was coined in 1879 by the German agitator Wilhelm Marr to designate the anti-Jewish campaign underway in Central Europe at that time. Although the term now has wide currency, it is a misnomer. Listen to what it says here. It says, since it implies a discrimination against all Semites, Arabs and other peoples are also Semites. And this is why when you go to looking up the word Semitic, and we'll get there in a second, this is where the confusion is. How can we be anti-Semitic? How can we be when you understand the true definition of the word? But it goes on to say, and yet they are not the targets of anti-Semitism as it is usually understood. Let's just say we go off with what's on the surface. Let's just say we say the Arab people are Semitic people, the Jewish community, as we know them, are Semitic people. So how can we classify and say, far as in this country, saying anti-Semitism is on the rise and Islamic phobia is on the rise? And notice how they're not properly giving you the details with that, because you have two communities going at one another. But technically, let's just go off of just on the surface. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be that according to this document here, the average would be a Semitic people? Because in the church, it is taught that they are descendants from Ishmael. If that's the case, Ishmael is a Shemitic person. Anyone that's descendants of Shem would be a Shemitic people. The Edomites are Shemitic people. All of them would be Shemitic people. And that's what this article, this entry here of the Britannica is saying. Arabs and other peoples are Semites, and yet they are not the targets of anti-Semitism as it is usually understood. That's the key, as it is usually understood. Guess what? We fall up under being Semitic people. We are Shemitic people, whether you say Semitic or Shemitic. Now, if you go into the older Oxford Dictionary, you'll see both Semitic and Shemitic. But it says, as it is usually understood. So as it's understood today, you don't correlate that word anti, or should I say Semitic, with all the descendants of Shem. Only one group of people had that designator, and that's because of this person right here, as it says here, Wilhelm Marr, that to designate that the anti-Jewish campaign. All right. But it goes on to say here, the term is especially inappropriate as a label for the anti-Jewish prejudices, statements, or actions of Arabs or other Semites. Right. So, but this is what is it's just with the Britannica. It's saying that, technically that word anti-Semitism should be applied to all those that are Semitic people. Not, it says Nazi anti-Semitism, which culminated in the Holocaust, had a racist dimension in that it targeted Jews because of their supposed biological characteristics. Family, this is where you have to pay attention to the details here, because here's a key word: supposed. That's a key word, because of their supposed. Let me say that again. Because of their supposed biological characteristics. Now we have to understand what supposed means. It says here, let's go here. Let's see how Cambridge defines supposed or supposedly. It says, according to what someone told you, or according to what is believed by many people to be true. Let's say that again. I want y'all to really think on that. Let that sink in. When you see supposed, according to what someone told you, or according to what is believed by many people to be true, just because the majority may believe something is to be true doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. That's why when you go back here, let's go back. It says because of their supposed, in other words, many believe that this is true because of what many people are believing or talking or discussing that this is true. Said because of their supposed biological characteristics, even those who had themselves converted to other religions or whose parents were converts. All right. So we define what supposed is. Supposedly, it says here, according to what someone told you, or according to what is believed by many people to be true. There are ways that seem right unto man, but that way is death. In other words, that's just dealing with what? The common consensus. So what is Semitic? What is this word Semitic? Let's go to it. Let's see what Semitic is. Is this an accurate definition of, actually this is kind of out of whack, but oh well. We're going to deal with Semitic, right? And we're going to deal with anti-Semitic here. So excuse the slides. I was trying to put it in order, but it's out of order. Oh, see, I don't have this up. See, this is Malika Andrews, and I want to, let me see if I could get this video here uploaded, because this is where they start really regurgitating certain talking points. So let me see if I can pull this up here. I am going to upload this here because I want you guys to really hear her. And for some reason, I cannot play the audio in this presentation. Let me make sure. If you guys can hear the audio, let me know. If not, I will just upload it again. Let me see here. First, let me remove some of the Kyrie Irving points. I'll leave the last two when he mentioned about about Semitic. All right. So let me see if I can get this Malika Andrews. Let me see, because this is what I want you guys to hear as well. All right, let's see here. I got to remember the name of it. Nothing can make me go into hiding. That's not it. Yeah, I thought I had it here, fam. I can't remember the name of that file. Yeah, I was hoping I could play the ESPN clip, but I just don't remember the name of it. And let me see. All right. Let me see if I can do one more here. Let's see. Let me see if I can search for it. Jay Williams. That's not what I want. Let's see. ESPN. Yeah. Yeah, I can't. I thought I had it. Let me check one more place. Nah, that's not it. Yeah, family. I can't find it. I thought I had it here. Yeah, I can't find it. I was hoping I can play this clip here for you guys to hear. And I'm looking here. I just don't remember the name of it. Let me see here. Stephen A. Smith called him dumb. Yeah. I just don't remember where I put it at. Where I upload it. Yeah. We just have to skip over it. I'll see if I can play it from this PowerPoint. If not, we'll just have to make do. And let me know if you guys can hear this. Let me see here. All right, now I'm going to switch back to see if you guys heard it. If not, we'll just keep it moving. All right, did you guys hear it? Or you guys didn't hear it? Yeah, I was trying to see if I can play the PowerPoint, the audio through the PowerPoint, and I just don't see a feature here. I thought it would play, but I just don't see it here. All right, let me try it one more time. Let me see if I could do something else. And let me see here. Yeah. I don't know what I did with it. Yeah, it is what it is. I can't find it. So let me do it let me try it this way. See if I could do it, if I could find it this way. Let's see. Yeah, I can't find it. Yeah. I'm just looking here and seeing the search results. Yeah. Sorry, family. We'll just have to make do without it. Okay. Alrighty. So, but this is the rabbi by the name that was pointing out. Actually, he was quoting from a document that I'm going to play. I mean, that I'm going to show you, and I'm going to kind of use that to segue into the Kanye West. So we're not going to. I'm not going to waste time by trying to find it. But is there a legal definition of anti-Semitic? Is there a legal definition that defines the word anti-Semitism, anti-Semitic? Is there a legal definition, right? And as we learned by Judge Joe Brown, because I thought there was, but Judge Joe Brown, when we had him on here earlier this year, he stated that there are no laws, anti-Semitic laws, or laws that define anti-Semitism in this country. All right. So, but let's see how it's defined among the Jewish community as we know them. So, what is the definition of anti-Semitism according to the Jewish community as we know them? Right. So, let's get to it. This is coming from their document, even though it's on a government website, but this is not, part of the federal laws or the local laws. So, but this is what it says. All right. This is from the world definition of anti-Semitism, the working definition of anti-Semitism by the European Monitoring Center on Racism and Xenophobia. So, working definition, right? So, like we use the term in the corporate world, working document. In other words, it's still being what? Modified, changed, updated, it's evolving. So it says here, anti-Semitism is a certain perception of Jews which may be expressed as hatred towards Jews. Rhetorical and physical manifestations of anti-Semitism are directed towards Jewish or non-Jewish individuals and or their property, toward Jewish communities, community institutions, and religious facilities. All right, so we saw here, it says anti-Semitism is a certain perception. Let me say that again. It says anti-Semitism is a certain perception. Let me say that one more time. Anti-Semitism is a certain perception. That's what it says in their document. It is a certain perception. So what is the definition of anti-Semitism according to the Jewish community as we know them? It says here, contemporary examples of anti-Semitism. It says calling for, aiding, or justifying the killing or harming of Jews. This is why I said Kanye West, he was wrong when he made that statement. When he made that post, no matter how you slice and dice it, his post says DEFCON 3. So that is technically, according to what's laid out here, is anti-Semitism. I mean, he shouldn't have posted it anyway. I don't think that, regardless whether it's labeled anti-Semitism or not, he should not have posted that DEFCON, regardless of the intent. But nevertheless, it says here, calling for aiding or justifying the killing or harming of Jews, often in the name of radical ideology or an extremist view of religion. Now, this is the next one you see here. This is number 2. This is what you see in the background here. This is what I'm reading right here. And if you guys want a copy of this, matter of fact, I'll post a copy of this inside the comments section, so that way you guys make yourself familiar with this. Get familiar with what it actually says, so that way you can be conscientious of what you may say, just to keep yourself from being caught up in any unnecessary craziness, right? For not knowing. And let me see if I can get this real quick. All right, I'm going to copy this definition over to the chat, especially if you guys, any teachers that are watching, be familiar with what it means according to this document here. All right. So let's see here. So it says making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, especially but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy, or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions. All right. It goes on to say accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoings. Wait a minute. Look at what it just says here. Accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoings. Real. If you say they did something, it could be real, it could be true, but that could still be labeled anti-Semitic. But I want to go back here real quick, because I want to read this one more time, and then I'm going to play Kanye West's point that he made, because he didn't know. He said he didn't know until apparently someone pulled him aside and gave him this document, and someone talked to him and told him exactly what anti-Semitism is according to this document, because he didn't know. Like most of us don't know. So it says making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, especially but not exclusively the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or societal institutions. So let's see what Kanye West actually says here. Let's go to what Kanye West actually says here, family. Let's hear what he says on this subject. Here we go. Where is that? I just had it. All right, here we go.
Anti-Semitic statements are never good for anybody, right? It's kind of like being anti-black.
But, you know, it's really interesting. I didn't realize that I could be considered anti-Semitic till I read one of the definitions of anti-Semitism. Look at this. The definition says, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, such as, especially, but not exclusively. This sounds like a, let it go by. All right, so it says, think about it, that sounds like the type of wording that's in the contracts, right?
Indeed.
Such as, especially, but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions.
But isn't that what you said? That Jews run everything?
Yeah, but that actually is considered to be anti-Semitic.
Right.
So I didn't realize that it was anti-Semitic to say, hey, you know, I have a Jewish attorney, I have a Jewish record label, I have a Jewish contractor, I have a
Do you
Jewish...
regret your statements? Or the statements you think you should be walking back? I mean, considering...
What do you mean walking back?
Well, you know, backing up off of them. I mean, the thing is, you've lost a lot of endorsements. People are dropping you. You're getting, you know, vilified. You know, I mean, you might think you're right, but I think, you know, there's a whole world out there that's condemning you for what you said.
Okay, so this right here is a chart of Universal Studios, 20th Century Fox, ABC News, CBS News, Columbia Pictures, Warner Brothers, ESPN Sports, Fox News, Washington Post, Metro Goldwyn Mayer, MTV Music Television, Nickelodeon, USA Today, Wall Street Journal, Comedy Central, NBC Entertainment, Google, what else do we have? Disney, ABC Kids and Family, YouTube, Los Angeles Times, Discovery Network, Paramount Pictures, Facebook, Huffington Post, Yahoo, Marvel, Hulu, Cosmopolitan, Time, Touchstone, Associated Press, Pixar, Miramax, HBO, New York Post, LucasArts, MSNBC, DreamWorks Animation. Now, the thing is, I skipped over maybe about 5 of them because it was just unclear on this list. The red are the executives that are Jewish at these companies.
Do you think they stuck together when they heard what you said? Was that what happened?
So you see, family, this is where we have to make sure we take notes. You have to make sure when you're teaching, if you're teaching about that community, show documents. Don't just give opinions, show actual documents. You saw how he changed the tone, the tone of what was being said to him by the media, by those reporters. Those reporters, those journalists initially was like, hey, don't you feel bad? I mean, you hurt people, Kanye. Don't you feel bad for what you said? I mean, people are canceling you. Don't you feel bad, Kanye? And then in the end, is this the reason why they stuck together? That's what you heard from the reporter's mouth, stuttering when they asked that question. So family, this is why this is a lessons learned. Make it a point when you're teaching this, the history, show the documents. Let the documents speak for itself. Because if not, you can get yourself into trouble. Even though the way that anti-Semitism is, you can still be called an anti-Semitic, even though you may use a source written by someone from their community. Right? So Kanye West made it clear he didn't know, just by saying that his lawyer, his doctor, his whatever, by saying that they own all of that, that's anti-Semitic. So as we see here, let's go ahead and read this here. It says, making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, especially but not exclusively, the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or other societal institutions. Accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real, let me say that again. This is the part that really stands out. Not just what we just read the previous bullet. This right here, family, look at what it says here. I hope y'all really making a note of this. Accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single Jewish person. And notice what this says, or a group, the state of Israel, or even for acts committed by non-Jews. Now we get into what? Is that dealing with the Christian Zionists? Because we got Christian Zionists all around us. Yeah, I've been doing a little deep diving, like a dumpster dive. Be surprised. You be surprised people that are coming against this awakening who are connected to Christian Zionism organizations. You'd be surprised. I'll say that again. You'd be surprised that many of the people in the church right now that are coming against our community, that's throwing our names and trying to slander us in every kind of way. You'd be surprised how many of these people within those groups, those Christian groups, and I'm not just dealing with the high level. I'm talking about when we start getting into the evangelicals, when we start getting into those different circles, you'll be surprised how many of them are part of different Christian, Zionist organizations. I got a few of them. I'm not going to mention them tonight, but I got a few of them that you'd be surprised that have ties to these Christian Zionist organizations that are making an assertive effort to come at this awakening. You'd be surprised. You wouldn't be surprised. You wouldn't be surprised because now you know. Because you guys have witnessed and been on the receiving end of some of these the ugliness of those that say that they're Christians following Christ. But nevertheless, let's see what else here. It says, accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. Accusing Jews or Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than to the interests of their own nations. Well, I hope you guys saw the video I saw with shared with Mike Wallace. I hope you guys saw that video. I hope y'all saw the video of Cynthia, the former woman rather, Cynthia McKinney. I hope you guys saw some of the videos and been paying attention to the videos. I got more. I got another bomb I'm going to upload tomorrow. Come on, family. But that can be considered anti-Semitic. That's why you have a lot of people in Congress that are scared to say anything. Because we already proved Mike Wallace, this is the interview that's up there is like back in 88, 90. of how powerful AIPAC is in influencing the elections. Come on, family. You guys heard it with your own ears. Just how impactful, just how much of an influence. Back in 88, they were giving $700 per person, per Israeli person, $700 per Israeli person to that community every year. But when it came to our community, or should we say the Africa, as it pointed out in that video, $2. $2. And this is back in 88, 90. So it's far more than what than what was back then, but that's still a huge gap. That's a huge gap. A huge gap. So family, again, these are the things that's right in front of us right now. You heard the videos of me playing about Biden being a Christian, being a Zionist. He makes it clear he's not ashamed of being a Christian Zionist. You heard with your own ears Nancy Pelosi saying that they will let the country fall, but to make sure the support for Israel is there. They will make sure that the country, even if the country failed, they'll make sure that Israel is still being supported. You heard with your own ears, Gus Savage exposing what the AIPAC had did to Reverend Jesse Jackson when he was running for president. Come on, family. They just approved, I think about a week or two, $109 billion for Israel, or the Israelis, and still monies for the Ukraine. That's just that for this particular war. That's not the yearly monies that goes to them. That's just what they approved, emergency approval. Anyway, so let's go ahead and continue here. Accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than to the interests of their own nations. So what is the definition of anti-Semitism according to the Jewish community? I said it again. It goes on to say, calling for aid or justifying the killing of harming of Jews, right? So are these anti-Semitic comments? Guess what? Just on that alone, that's why I said, going back here, calling for aiding or justifying the killing of harming of Jews, right? Often in the name of a radical ideology or an extremist view of religion. Well, are these comments anti-Semitic? Guess what? Right here, that's the key. When I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Can't get around it. Cannot get around it. Right? What is the definition of anti-Semitism according to the Jewish community? I mentioned it, but let's go back to it. Making mendacious, dehumanizing, demonizing, or stereotypical allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, especially but not exclusively the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media, economy, government, or societal institutions. Right? That's going back to the Kanye West, but I'm fast forwarding because you guys already heard that. So again, allegations about Jews as such, or the power of Jews as a collective, especially but not exclusively the myth about a world Jewish conspiracy or of Jews controlling the media. All right. So was Kanye West correct about who controls the media? Right. I'm going to ask you guys this question. Let me see if I can put a little interaction here. Was Kanye West correct on who controls the media. Let me go ahead and launch my browser here. All right. Now I'll do some shout outs here shortly because I see some additional contributions to the super chat. But let me do this here. Let me open up another browser and I'm going to put this question inside the chat. All right, let me make sure that I approve it. All right, so let me go ahead and put this question inside the chat. And we have, I know it's been fluctuating, but we have almost 800. Last I saw it, it was almost 800 people in the chat. So I think we can at least get a couple of hundred participants here. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, hit that like and subscribe to the channel. And if you assume that you're still subscribed to the channel, double check, because what YouTube has been doing, they will uncheck you without you knowing that you're unsubscribed. They will unsubscribe you without you knowing. And I've had a number of people have to deal with that and let me know, sent me messages saying how they literally had to subscribe again to the channel. They did not know that they was unsubscribed. Let me go ahead and put this inside the chat. All right, let's go ahead and put this question inside the chat. Let's see. Let's see. Was Kanye correct about who? All right, let me put his name here. All right, so was he correct? All right, so I'm going to put this inside the poll here. I'm going to start this poll right here. All right. All right, so we have over 700 people watching. Let's see if we could get those likes up to 500. All right, let's see if we could get 500 likes over the course of the video. Let's see if we could get to that 500 number. All right, so I went on uploaded this question here. All right. Was Kanye West correct? All right, so far we have 44 votes. Let's see if we can at least get a couple of hundred votes. All right, so again, if you're not subscribed to the channel, hit the like and also click on the notification button. All right, but again, let's get those thumbs up. But let's see here. So far we have 60 that participated. Let's get at least a couple of hundred people participating in this, whether you agree or disagree. Was Kanye West correct about who controls the media? All right, because he made it clear that the Jewish community, as we know them, controls the media. So was he correct with this assessment? All right, so far, 99% of you guys says he's correct so far. We'll go back and I'll review this shortly. And while we at it, let me go ahead and give some additional shout outs here. I want to say shout outs to, let's see here. Sister Light to the Nations. I want to thank you for the love and support. Family, let's show some love. Thank you for always having great reporting and receipts. Thank you. I really appreciate it, my sister, for the love and support. Family, let's show some love for Sister Light to the Nations. Thank you again for the contributions tonight. And Adrian Drayton, let's show some love as well. Thank you for the love and support. Really appreciate it. Be concentrated for Yahweh. We woke now. Mishpachah Toda at Pastor K for being a pillar in the community. Thank you. Be concentrated. Thank you for the love and support. I mean, cannot do what we do without the love and support. I really appreciate it. We appreciate it. Hallelujah. And again, Lisa Jackson, want to show some love to you as well. The fight in Israel and Palestine, I don't have a dog in that fight. And see, that's where what's happened, that They are trying to make us have a dog in that fight, trying to make us choose sides. All right. I understand completely. So, but appreciate the contributions. Thank you, sis. Really appreciate it. T of Yah, shalom to you as well. Thank you for the love and support. Again, thank you again, Sister Jackson, for the double contribution, the double seeds that you sowed tonight. Really appreciate it. Finding my true self. Thank you for the love and support. And again, Araya Alahayam. I want to say peace and blessings to you, my brother. Thank you for the love and support. And also Michael Dukaman. Thank you for the love and support as well. Really appreciate it, family. Let's show all our contributors tonight the love and support. All right. Let's see here. Let's look at the poll real quick. All right. Right now we are at 117 votes. And so far we are at 98%. All right. So we're not going to make that 2% feel bad. Really appreciate everyone for your contributions and those that are contributing even just by way of participation. Participation is just as valuable. So thank you guys for participating in that poll. All right. So let's get back to the lesson here. All right. Now, this is the LA Times. This is an old article from 2008. And I've been teaching this before this whole ordeal happened. Just so happened when this occurred, the situation occurred with Kanye, I was able to go back to my old presentation that I taught internally. LA Times, Who Runs Hollywood? Come On, by Joel Stein. Right? So this is Joel Stein, Stein. He's a reporter. He is of the Jewish community. This is 2008, December 19th. And notice what it says. Who runs Hollywood? Come on. I have never been so upset by a poll in my life. Only 22% of Americans now believe the movie and television industries are pretty much run by Jews. Excuse me, about to sneeze. Americans now believe the movie and television industries are pretty much run by Jews, down from nearly 50% in 1964. The Anti-Defamation League, which released the poll result last month, sees in these numbers a victory against stereotyping. Actually, it just shows how dumb America has gotten. Jews totally run Hollywood. Now, this is not my article. This is by Joel Stein, who is a Jewish reporter who wrote this article for the Los Angeles Times. He makes it clear that the Jews totally run Hollywood. But he didn't stop there. He says, how deeply Jewish is Hollywood? He says, how deeply Jewish is Hollywood? When the studio chiefs took out a full-page ad in the Los Angeles Times a few weeks ago to demand the Screen Actors Guild settle its contract, the open letter was signed by News Corp's President Peter Chernin, Jewish, Paramount Pictures Chairman Brad Gray, Jewish, Walt Disney co-chief executive Robert Iger, Jewish, Sony Pictures Chairman Michael Linton, surprise Dutch Jewish, Warner Brothers Chairman Barry Meyer. Doesn't it sound like what Kanye West was spewing, was quoting? But not, of course, some of these guys have been replaced, but it says Jewish. CBS Corp, Chief Executive Leslie Moonves, so Jewish, his great uncle was the first prime minister of Israel. Let me say that again. Chief Executive Leslie Moonves, so Jewish, his great uncle was the first prime minister of Israel. MGM Chairman Harry Sloan, Jewish, and NBC Universal Chief Executive Jeff Zucker, mega Jewish. If either of the Jews, I skipped down to here, but anyway, it says here, the Jews are so dominant, I had to scour the trades to come up with 6 Gentiles in high positions at entertainment companies. When I called them to talk about their incredible advancement, 5 of them refused to talk to me, apparently out of fear of insulting Jews. The 6th AMC president, Charlie Collier, turned out to be Jewish. All right. As a proud Jew, I want America to know about our accomplishment. Yes, we control Hollywood. Without us, you'd be flipping between the 700 Club and Davy and Goliath. Davy. Anyway, Davy and Goliath on TV all day. So I've taken it upon myself to reconvince America that Jews run Hollywood by launching a public relations campaign because that's what we do best. I'm weighing several slogans, including Hollywood, more Jewish than ever, Hollywood from the people who brought you the Bible, and Hollywood, if you enjoy TV and movies, then you'll probably like Jews after all. And again, this is from the LA Times. And let me go ahead and post this inside the comment section so that way you guys can have this for your record. All right. So I'm posting these sources just so that way, again, you can have it for your record. And again, you can, when you discussing this, you have direct links that you can refer to. All right. Where is it? All right. Let me copy this over. I'm going to drop this in the chat. And you can review this source. This is not me. This is their source. This is someone from their community. All right. There's the link to that publication, that article that I read. So that way you guys can confirm. You can vet the sources as I present them on the screen. Again, don't have a problem with sharing sources, right? I don't have a problem with sharing sources. All right. So here we go. Let's go to the next slide. All right. We already see here the Middle East, how the Middle East was invented. See, this could be considered a conspiracy. The New York Times, how the Middle East was invented. Until this century, nobody talked about the Middle East. This publication or this article was written in 1991. All right. Too bad they don't do journalism like back in the 80s and the 90s. Journalism is nowhere near this. At least they were, even though you had different political parties, at least they were going back and forth with each other. They're putting stuff out there. You know, you won't find the Mike Wallace type interviews today. You won't find the Cynthia McKinney's, you won't find that. You won't find the Congressman Gus Savage. You won't find these people that are speaking out. You won't find those today, especially in this country. Many of them, as we already know, are scared. But anyway, it says nobody talked about the Middle East because neither the term nor the states in the region existed. Both were the works of the victors in World War I, the true begetters of the furies that still rage. All right. The term Middle East was coined in 1901 by Admiral Alfred Thayer Mahon, the celebrated American advocate of naval power. It was popularized in speeches in 1916 by Sir Mark Sykes, a British member of parliament. So what is the definition of anti-Semitism according to the Jewish community? Let's go to another section. Then we'll start getting into some fact checking of the Hebrew to Negroes. Accusing Jews of a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single Jewish person or a group, the state of Israel, or even for acts committed by non-Jews. Who are those non-Jews? I'm believing that those are the Christian Zionists. I'm believing that those are the Christian Zionists. Many of those that have been, trolling us, those that have been, really going in on our community, not even dealing with the situation that's going on in the real world, whether it was COVID, no matter what, we are worse than COVID. We are worse than what's going on in Israel. The focus has never stopped or shifted off of our community. Have you guys noticed that? Have you guys noticed that? No matter what it is, we're worse than what's out there. We are worse than any worse situation out there. It could be a tsunami. We're worse than the tsunami. It could be whatever, maybe a meteor can hit this earth. We're worse than that, the damages that it can do. You know what I mean? We are worse than the worst. They will embrace a drug dealer. They will embrace a junkie. They would embrace anyone but the Negroes that have awakened to who they are. If you guys agree with what I just said, type yes. If you don't, type 2. That's fine. That's cool. You're entitled to your opinion. But that's just how I see it. That's exactly how I see it. That's exactly how I see it. They cricket. Crickets when it comes to the stuff that we see. Crickets. But it's just all about coming at our community. Crickets to what we see going on in the world today. Now, even though, yeah, we don't have a dog in the fight one way or the other, but I'm still going to speak up for what's going on. I'm still going to bring the news to you guys. How many of those guys want to talk about what Michael Rappaport has said? How many of those guys wanted to talk about that? But we are the bigger threat, right? We're the threat. You know why? We are the threat, right? And I believe that those same people, those groups that are just focusing on our community, I believe they're part of this secret meeting that occurred.
The major problem of Israel is with the young generation of the black community. Black Lives Matter starts there. I had last week a sit-down dinner in my house with 40 people, which are considered the leadership of the black community.
See, we are, we're worse than the worst. We're the threat, though. But none of them are talking about that. None of those that are focused on, that have been assigned to our community are talking about that. Notice I said assigned, using the term analyst. They're not talking about that right there. They're talking about us. They're not going to talk about this clip right here that you guys have, and I appreciate you guys for the love and support and sharing that video, but they're not going to talk about what this Jewish guy said here about the Jews are supposed to be worshipped. That even the Jewish professor, Dr. Mike Brown, even alluded to us owing his community, as he put it, for giving us Christ. Come on, family. But they won't say anything about this.
And you know what else, Jim? I just want to say this to our Christian friends, just to call it as it is and say it straight out, you guys are worshiping one Jew. That's a mistake. You should be worshiping every single one of us, because we all die for your sins every single day. And that's exactly what's going on here. Yeah. We're all God's firstborn, and we're dying for your sins right now because the Jewish people in the land of Israel are the bulwark against the orcs. Mm-hmm. Okay? The orcs are coming not to a theater near you, but to your home.
The rings on us. Now, Jim, the orcs are coming, Jim. The orcs are coming, Jim. They're coming to, not to a theater near you, Jim, but your home. We have to protect you from the orcs. Come on, he went straight Lord of the Rings on it. Saying that we should be worshiping them. Come on, family. They're not going to talk about this.
For the righteous, they exist in the world to come, and they're rewarded. And for those whose major complexion is black, are excluded from the world to come. Major complexion is black, are excluded from the world to come. Major complexion is black, are excluded from the world to come. For the righteous, they exist in the world to come and they're rewarded. And for those whose major complexion is black are excluded from the world to come.
Of those things. They don't have nothing to say about when we have rabbis asking melanated people, dark melanated people, proving that they are connected to the ancient people of the book, asking them this question.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient Israel, that's who we are. That's who we are. So if you give me time, if you give me time,
but
already said,
no, we don't have
so many years.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of
Yes.
notes. And I promise we'll give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you.
All right.
I'm hearing some of your traditions. It's like the days of the Bible.
Yes.
Do you want to remain ancient Israelites or you want to be Jews? Do you want to remain ancient?
Come on, family. Crickets. They are quiet, family. Quiet on that. But we're the worst thing. We're the worst of the worst. So accusing Jews as a people of being responsible for real or imagined wrongdoing committed by a single Jewish person or group, the state of Israel, or even for acts committed by non-Jews. So what is the definition again of anti-Semitism according to the Jewish community? I know I keep reiterating this, but I'm going somewhere with this. That's why I'm setting this up the way that I'm doing this. We're going to address some stuff here. Accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. Now I'm going to show you something that, according to them, can be anti-Semitic. Accusing Jewish citizens of being more loyal to Israel or to the alleged priorities of Jews worldwide than to the interests of their own nations. All right, so we're going to get to that here in a second. But what is Semitic? Let's start dealing with this word real quick. What is Semitic? Now, as you see, as it says here, in up until like 1779, if you go back to there, right, the language group. Semitic was actually a language group. That's why when you see the Zondervan Bible Dictionary and it's dealing with the Shemitic language, you will see a Hamitic name under there. Why? Because it was a language group. Just like when we say the word Bantu. Bantu was initially a language group, meant a language group, not designated for an actual group of people, but the language group. Because there's hundreds of Bantu languages. Right? So Shemitic language group, it says the language group that includes Hebrew, Arabic, Aramaic, Assyrian. It goes on to say, in recent use, often with the specific sense Jewish. Recent. Now it's what being identified more specifically Jewish. But not historically so limited. Historically, it wasn't limited. That's what it's saying. It wasn't limited on the Jewish community historically, but now it's limited to the Jewish community as we know them. So that's why it says, and I highlighted this quote, in recent use, often with the specific sense Jewish, but not so historically so limited. So when we go to the Oxford Dictionary, let's see what it says here. Relating to or denoting a family of languages that includes Hebrew, Arabic, Aramaic, and certain ancient languages such as Phoenician and Akkadian, constituting the main subgroup of the Afro-Asiatic family. Notice what it says. Constituting the main subgroup of the Afro-Asiatic family. Come on, family. Let me say it one more time. constituting the main subgroup of the Afro-Asiatic family. So it's saying Semitic is a subgroup of what? Afro-Asiatic families. Let's go to the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition of this word Semitic. It says here, entry number 1. So this tells you entry number 1 is the oldest entry. Entry number 2 comes after that. But then in the end, look at that entry that we see that was added there. So number 1, of relating to or constituting a subfamily of the Afro-Asiatic language. And it goes on, it says family that includes Hebrew, Aramaic, Arabic, and Amharic. Then it goes on to say of relating to or characteristic of the Semites. Then we see Jewish, a forced entry that was added there. So understanding Afro-Asiatic, that's us. We are Afro-Asiatic. And that's why Kyrie, that's why he made the comment that he made, because going to the mere definition of this word, that's why he made this comment right here.
Kyrie, for the record, do you have any anti-Semitic beliefs?
Again, I'm going to repeat. I don't know how the label becomes justified because you guys ask me the same questions over and over again. But this is not going to turn into a spin around cycle of questions upon questions. I told you guys how I felt. I respect all walks of life and embrace all walks of life. That's where I sit.
I think what people want to hear, though, is just a yes or no on that question. Yes or no.
I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from. I cannot be anti-Semitic if I know where I come from.
Come on, family. Come on, family. Let's deal with the word Semite. Let's see what it says for Semite. Now, when we see Semite, a member of any of a number of peoples of ancient southwestern Asia, including Akkadians, Phoenicians, Hebrews, and Arabs. Wait a minute. So southwestern Asia. Southwestern Asia? Is that the Middle East? You see how they're redefining these words? But then as we go down, it says a descendant of these people, a member of a modern people speaking a Semitic language. We say here, a descendant of these people. But look at how they reposition it. Southwest Asia versus Northeast Africa. Come on, family. Come on, family. Like the old school would say, the devil is in the details. Can a person of the continent of Africa be anti-Semitic? Especially, we got the phrase Afro-Asiatic. What is the origins of the name Africa? You know, if we just use the sources, I'm just going to use Christian sources. Or should I say Jewish sources, whatever. When we go to Josephus, Antiquity of the Jews, page 23, look at what he says about the word Africa, the name Africa. Let's fast forward here. It says here, Malchus, who wrote a history of the Jews in agreement with the history of Moses, their legislator, relates that there were many sons born to Abraham by Keturah. Nay, he names 3 of them, Aphor, Surim, and Jephron. That from Surim was the land of Assyria dominated, and that from the other 2, Aphor and Jopbron, the country of Africa, took its name. So it's saying the name Africa comes from Abraham's son. All right, let me fast forward here. So according to the sources here, saying the name Africa, the origins of it is a Shemitic name. Anyway, family, when we go to their sources, right? All right, let me go back here. Oh, I didn't put it here. I forgot to put it. Yeah, I can't use that source. This is defining the word Jew as you see it in the background, but it's telling us that the word Jew should not be used synonymously with ancient Israel. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick and fix that slide. All right, see, good thing I had this open here. I could fix that slide. Sound like Bob the Builder. I can fix it. All right, let's go ahead and fix this slide right here. All right, let's put it right here. There we go. All right. So, strictly speaking, it is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew, or to call a contemporary Jew an Israelite or a Hebrew. The first Hebrews may not have been Jews at all. And it says the same things for the Palestinians, right? Referring to the Palestinians as the Philistines, assuming that they're the same people. That's what this is saying in their source. But here it says, strictly speaking, it is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew. Let's go back to this recording here. So let's put it in this proper perspective, right? When it says it is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew. So that's why this is such an insult when you hear this Messianic rabbi ask the Limba elders, the Igbo elders, this question.
You know what you are? You're an ancient Israelite.
Ancient Israel, that's who we are. That's who we are. So if you give me time, if you give me time, all that he said,
no, we don't have
so many years.
I know. Look at this. This is pages and pages of notes. And I promise we'll give more teaching. But here is my challenge to you.
All right.
I'm hearing some of your traditions. It's like the days of the Bible.
Yes.
Do you want to remain ancient Israelites or you want to be Jews? Do you want to remain ancient Israelites?
So their own source says it's incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew, but yet we have a rabbi asking a group of Negroes that look like you and I, that on those slave ships, at least 1 out of every 4 Negro on those slave ships were of the Igbo. And speaking of that, Harry Kissinger, Richard Nixon's Secretary of State, just passed away a couple of days ago. Why did I mention that? He said in a publication, a memo that he wrote, that the Igbos are the wandering Jews of West Africa. Gifted. All right. But anyway, it is incorrect to call an ancient Israelite a Jew or to call a contemporary Jew an Israelite or a Hebrew. So it's saying that you should not be using that word Jew and synonymously with ancient Israel. It says even calling a contemporary Jew, a modern Jew, you should not even be calling them an Israelite or a Hebrew. That's why you have the term Israeli. All right. Anyway, that's what this says. All right. So we also read in the anti-Semitic document by the Jewish community as we know them, accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. Right? So did Ron Dalton write in his book or stated in his movie that the Holocaust did not exist? Because remember, that reporter dealing with Kyrie Irving, he said that in the book, he said in the movie, Ronald Dalton said that the Holocaust did not exist. And I'm going to prove to you, family, that was actually a complete lie. What did Ron Dalton actually write in his book or say in his movie? What did he say about the Holocaust? Excuse the typo. Now, this is coming from his book, Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up America, Wake Up Black America. Let's see what he says inside this book as we fact check it. It says here, the Jews have established 5 major falsehoods which work to conceal their nature and protect their status and power, to wit. Number 1, the Jews are Israelites, in other words, Hebrews, and thus God's chosen people. Now, what else does he say? Jesus Christ was a Jew. Jesus did not practice Judaism. Jesus' stock was of Levi, Aaron, in other words, Mary, and it says of Judah, Joseph. Number 3, that 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust during World War II. Many scholars, notice what it says, is many sources and scholars have proven that there were less than 250,000 Jews living in Europe at the time of the Nazis' Third Reich rule. This number was fabricated and was believed to be true by Jewish-controlled media in America. Number 4, that all people are equal, right? Religion, let's say equal. All people are not equal in the religion of Judaism. We are considered goyim or goy, just like cattle. Number 5, that the Jews are just another religious group. In other words, the Jews today are Europeans whose ancestors converted from pagan religions to Judaism religion. Being a Jew, which is a follower of Judaism, is basically a religion. The race of anybody practicing Judaism varies by country. Therefore, the Jews are just a religious group, not a race. And he puts a quote here. So this lets you know that he didn't come up with this quote. It's quoted by Ashkenazi Jew Harold Wallace Rosenthal. And we're going to address that in a second here. But I want to go back here where it says about the Holocaust, because it says if you exaggerate, let's go back to the law. Let's go back to what they say here. Let me just skip it this way. Instead, I didn't know it's that far back. Let's go back here. And then we get back to where we were. Right here. It says, accusing the Jews as a people or Israel as a state of inventing or exaggerating the Holocaust. All right, so let's go back here to where we left off at. All right, so we got a lot to address here. All right, so let's fast forward here. All right, we got a lot to address. Let's start with addressing this quote here, and we're going to address a lot of this here, starting with looking up who this person, Ashkenazi Jew, has Harold Wallace Rosenthal, who this person is, because Ronald Dalton makes and as you see in the back here, quoted by Ashkenazi Jew Harold Wallace Rosenthal. So we see that here. And this is the source. The hidden tyranny, the issue that dwarfs all other issues. This is a document based off of an interview, but a document, it says the Rosenthal document. And this is the information right here. When I say I did the research, because I'm like, okay, let's see if what the Rolling Stones and the talking points at that time is true. Because I was like, wait a minute, I watched the movie and I read the book. I don't recall seeing some of the things that they mentioned. So let me go back over. Let me make sure I just maybe there's something that I missed. I mean, it is a lengthy movie. It's like what, 3.5 hours. So that's a lot of time sitting there watching something. So maybe it went over my head. So I decided to go back to the book, right? And notice what it says here in the footnotes of this book. I decided to go to the book, and I decided to research, and I decided to see if what the things that was circulating about Ron Dalton, he was Negro, saying what they said, if it was true. I decided to go look it up to see if it's true, and we did a fact check. So we're doing a fact check to see if it's true. So in the footnotes of this book here, this document that I pointed out, the hidden tyranny, the issue that dwarfs all other issues, in the footnote, right, it says the Jews have established 5 major falsehoods. Wait a minute. That is coming directly out of Ron Dalton's book, quoting this source. by a Jewish Ashkenazi Jew. So what they're telling us, basically in a nutshell, they can quote it, but if we quote what they say, then we're anti-Semitic by quoting what someone from their community has said. So Ron Dalton is actually quoting from this book by the Ashkenazi Jew Rosenthal. Notice what it says here. It says, number one, the Jews are Israelites and thus God's chosen people. Number two, Jesus Christ was a Jew. Number three, that 6 million Jews were killed in a Holocaust during World War II. It's saying the number, but didn't say whether the saying that there was no Holocaust, as the reporter said to Kyrie Irving. It says that 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust during World War II, that all races are equal, or that all are brothers, and number five, that the Jews are just another religious group. All right. So who is Harry Rosenthal? Who is Harry Rosenthal? Why are there, and I want to make sure you guys understand this, right? Who is Harry Rosenthal? And we're going to answer that question. But before we go to that, let's deal with the Holocaust real quick, because we got to answer this question. Why do we see the Star of David and the swastika on the same coin? Why do we see the swastika and the Zionist symbol on the same coin? We need to investigate that. I'm not going to investigate it now, but notice what we see here. You guys remember this here? October 18th, 1918, 6 million souls will need help to resume normal life when war is ended. 6 million. It's saying 6 million. That 6 million number back in 1918, October 18th. Here's the original article. Go to another article. Ukrainian Jews. Notice we're dealing with the Ukraine. Ukrainian Jews aim to stop pogroms. New York Times, September 8th, 1919. Right? And guess what was happening in 1919 as well as 1918? The destruction of our communities, plural. But notice what it says. Ukrainian Jews aim to stop pogroms, commissioned to visit Europe and prepare a memorandum for President Wilson. Lansing gives permission. Mass meeting hears that 127,000 Jews have been killed and 6 million are in peril. We see that 6 million number again. Here's the article right here. We see it again. Tells sad plight of Jews. New York Times, November 12th, 1919. Another article. It says here, the successive blows of contending armies have all but broken the back of European Jewry, he said, and have reduced to tragically unbelievable poverty, starvation, and disease about 6 million souls, or half the Jewish population on the earth. Wait a minute. I got to upload something here because I removed it. Let me upload something here because this is pretty interesting, because I want to upload a lie here. Let me upload this lie. Let me upload this lie. I can remove this video. Let me go fire Marshal Bill on you guys. Let me tell you something. Let me upload this here. Let me upload this here. All right. Let me go to a different folder because this is important, family. This is really important that I want to share with you guys. All right. I know we're going overtime. All right. Let's see here. Let's go here. Let's go to this folder here. I want to upload this here because it's interesting, right? This article says 6,000 souls, or half the Jewish population. Starvation. So in 1919, the Jewish community as we know them, the number, as you see here, 6,000. So it says 6,000 souls, or half the Jewish population. So 6 million souls are supposed to be half of the Jewish population at that time. Why is this important? Notice this guy by the name of, what's his name? I can't remember his name. I think his name is Shapiro as well. Popular YouTube channel, YouTuber. He's from the Jewish community, but listen to what he says about this number. Because right now it says here, a disease about 6 million souls, or half the Jewish population. So saying this 6 million souls is half of what? The Jewish population of that time. So basically it's saying it's 12 million Jews per se in 1919. Listen to what this guy have to say.
So the way to talk about the Jewish community in general, there are not very many Jews on the planet. Due to conspiracy theories, people tend to think there are tens of millions of Jews on the planet. The grand total number of Jews on planet Earth is about 15 million. About 7 million who live in the state of Israel. There are about 6 million who live in the United States.
Come on, family. I'm not going to do my voice impersonation tonight. But notice here, he said that there's a total of 13 million Jews. But in 1919, 12 million Jews. 6 million in the United States, 7 million in Israel. Come on, family. Come on, family. But let's continue. All right. And this is a document, the original document that I got it from the archives on New York Times. Jewish war aids get 100,000 gift, New York Times, 1920. All right. This is dealing with what? Again, 6 million Jews. This is 1920, 6 million Jews. Says the Fund for Jewish War suffers in Central and East Europe, where 6 million face horrifying conditions of famine. Okay. And this is the article that I downloaded. So why are these articles important? I'm going to show you why. Because the Jewish community began to promote the narrative of 6 million Jewish victims 300 years before the Holocaust. Which leads me to this article here. Some of you guys are going to remember. This is a refresher to some of you guys. Poland agrees to change Auschwitz tablets. Notice what it says. It says Poland agrees to change Auschwitz tablets after 50 years of deflecting the request of Jewish groups. The Polish, right? Notice what it says here. After 50 years of deflecting requests of Jewish groups. So they're saying that Jewish groups, people from within their community, right, was requesting the numbers to change. The Polish government has agreed to change the wording on stone tablets at Auschwitz and Birkenau, the adjacent Nazi camps where more than 1 million Jews died during World War II. See, on the original tablets, it says 4 million. Now it says more than 1 million, right? So that's a huge drop. You're talking 3 million. So the move follows decades of appeals by Jewish, and I want to make this clear. Let me put this disclaimer. My goal and my intent of this is not to mock, ridicule, or be inconsiderate or numb to what happened during the Holocaust. I want to make that clear. I want to put that out there. It's a, even if it was 10 people, innocent lives is innocent lives, period. So I want to put that out there. So I'm not here trying to mock or make fun or belittle or minimize what happened to those people. So I want to make that clear. I'm focusing on the numbers, the accuracy, as I'm reading this article here by New York Times. Poland agrees to change Auschwitz tablets. So it says the move follows decades of appeals by Jewish groups who say the current plaques do not fully reflect the suffering of Jews and focus too heavily on the camp's non-Jewish victims. Do you know that there was a ton of our ancestors that was in those camps as well? Excuse me. Should have brought me some water in here. My throat getting dry. They don't talk about that. While thousands of non-Jews were among the estimated 1.5 million killed at Auschwitz, the victims were predominantly Jewish. So it's saying 1.5 million were killed, but they're saying mostly were Jewish. Not giving an exact number. Here's the tablets. This is the original right here. And it says 4 million. And then when we look on the right, it says 1.5 million men, women, and children, mainly Jews. Let me zoom that in. Mainly Jews. So according to the article, it estimated 1 million. So if they're saying that 6 million Jews were killed in the Holocaust, just this right here knocks off 3 million of that number. According to this article here. That's why, family, we're showing sources. So when we go to this Rolling Stones article, because this reporter that you heard questioning Kyrie Irving, he wrote I believe he wrote the article that was in the Rolling Stones, or at least used the article to go at Kyrie Irving with. So the Rolling Stones article, John Blistein, Kyrie Irving boosts anti-Semitic movie peddling Jewish slave ships. Let's see what it says here. This is coming from that article, and they've been modifying. This is what we call a moving document because they forever updating this document. All right. So let me put this link in so that way you guys we can fact check this thing. And we're going to get back to Rosenthal. I haven't forgotten him. All right. So let me put this inside the chat. This is the link to this Rolling Stone article. All right. So that's the link, family. So it says, hours before another Brooklyn Nets loss on Thursday, noted freethinker and basketball player Kyrie Irving took to Twitter to boost a movie and book, Hebrews to Negroes, stuffed with anti-Semitic tropes. The 2018 film was directed by Ron Dalton Jr. and based upon his 2015 book of the same name. A description for the film states that it uncovers the true identity of the children of Israel, while a similar one for the book reads. It says, since the European and Arab slave traders stepped foot into Africa, blacks have been told lies about their heritage. Both suggest Hebrews to Negroes espouses ideas in line with more extreme factions of the Black Hebrew Israelites, which have a long history of misogyny, homophobia, xenophobia, Islamophobia, and especially anti-Semitism. You see, they pouring it on here. The Black Hebrew Israelite movement is fairly broad, comprising organization that, per the Anti-Defamation League, right? This quote is from the Anti-Defamation League, operates semi-independently. The movement generally coalesces around the notion that Black people are the real descendants of the ancient Israelites, with more extreme factions claiming that Black people have been robbed of their identity as being God's chosen people. And that line is coming from the Southern Poverty Law Center. It's those extremist sects that have often parroted classic anti-Semitic tropes, like claiming European Jews, often referred to as the synagogue of Satan, wield outside control over society, especially in industries like banking and the media. We already proved that, right? We already proved that with the article I read, and also the words of Kanye West giving sources. They also push anti-Semitic claims that Jews are responsible for slavery and the effeminizing of Black men. At one point in the purported documentary, Irving shared Dalton, who narrates the film, bring up the real truth about the slave trade. He claims when teaching slavery, schools don't mention the involvement of the Catholic Church, Arab, East African, or Islamic slave traders, or the Jewish slave ships that brought our West African Negroes or Bantu ancestors to the slave ports, owned by Jews. So this is, he just really poured it on. So we're going to have to debunk this, because according to this article, It's saying that there's a anti-Semitic trope of saying that the Jewish community, in a nutshell, let's go back here. I don't want to put words in his mouth. Let's see here. I thought I had it here. Let me go back. Jewish slave ships, or the Jewish slave ships that brought our West African Negro or Bantu ancestors to slave ports owned by Jews. So he's saying that they're not teaching that. It was the Catholic Church, the Arabs, the Islamic slave traders. They don't teach about how that there were Jewish slave ship owners and all that. Jews owned slaves. Michael Rappaport want our community to rebuke those Palestinian supporters who were tearing down posters. But yet, when you look at the posters during this height of the slave trade or slave war, whose names do you see on those flyers? It's coming directly from the Jewish community as we know them. That's a fact. And I'll bring up some of those flyers because I have it on this computer. I didn't put it in this presentation. But let's go ahead and debunk some of this here. You guys remember this, Jews and Judaism in the United States, a documentary history by Rabbi Mark Lee Raphael, 1983. This is what he says. Jews also took an active part of the Dutch colonial slave trade, indeed by laws in the recipe of Mauritia congregation included an imposta, in other words, Jewish tax of 5 soldos for each Negro slave, a Brazilian purchase from the West Indies Company. I'm just going to go here. And as you see here, I don't want to cut over this right here, just one area here. It says slave auctions were postponed if they fell on a Jewish holiday. It goes on to say in the 17th century, as well as the British colonies of Barbados and Jamaica, in the 18th century, Jewish merchants played a major role, not a minor role, major role in the slave trade. In fact, in all of the American colonies, whether French, British, or Dutch, Jewish merchants frequently dominated. This is coming from this source here, Jews and Judaism in the United States, a documentary history by Rabbi Lee Raphael. He's a rabbi. I'm not sure if he's still living, but he's a rabbi, and this is his source. This was no less or true on the North American mainland, where during the 18th century, Jews participated in the triangular trade that brought slaves from Africa to West Indies, and there exchanged them for molasses, which in turn was taken to New England and converted into rum for sale in Africa. Isaac da Costa of Charleston in the 1750s, David Frank's Philadelphia, 1760s as well. We say, 1750s, but David Frank, 1760s. Aaron Lopez of Newport in the late 1760s and early 1770s dominated Jewish slave trading on the American continent. Come on, family. Made it clear. These are people from the Jewish community as we know them. So these 3 Jewish slave owners dominated the trade at their locations and are very deceptively mentioned in the article I'm about to share. So these guys dominated the slave trade at their locations. And this is coming from another source, My Jewish Learning. And note what they say here, and I want to highlight it here. They highlight, and I'm just going to put some things on the screen here. Oh, man. Anyway, they highlight David Franks, where Isaac DaCosta, David Franks, Aaron Lopez, and it makes it clear that they were very prominent. They didn't say dominant, they said prominent, word selection. Is it strictly coincidental with the order of these slave owners, as far as their names identical to the book that I just highlighted? So they used the source. But they purposely in this article to word it in a way to minimize. So Isaac DaCosta, David Franks, Aaron Lopez, and it says were prominent instead of saying dominant. And when we look at prominent, right, standing out beyond the line or surface of something, standing out excuse me. Right? So this is making it clear though, they stood out. It was above the rest, no matter what words they try to use. But going back here, we see Isaac DaCosta, Charleston, 1750s, David Franks, Aaron Lopez, and it says that they dominated slave trading on the American continent. All right, so you guys see their names here. All right, what else do I want to see here? Right, it says here, right, played a significant role in the merchant capitalism, commercial revolution, and territorial expansion that developed the New World and established the colonial economics. The Jewish Caribbean nexus provided Jews with the opportunity to claim a disproportionate influence. In other words, still say they dominated. In the 17th century, 18th century, New World commerce and enables the West Indian Jewry far outnumbering its co-religionists. So saying they far outnumbered. It's still saying that they dominated, family. Groups of Jews began to arrive in Suriname in the middle of the 17th century. All right. But it goes on to say there were about 100 Jews or Jewish families and 50 single Jews there, or about 570 persons. They possessed more than 40 estates. That's huge. And 9,000 slaves contributed. Right. So it says 40 estates, 9,000 slaves, and it says contributed 25,905 pounds of sugar as a gift for the building of a hospital. But it goes on to say Jews owned 115 plantations and were a large part of sugar export businesses. So it's making it clear they dominated. Come on, family. They dominated. We can't get around it. All right. They dominated, family. That's what this is saying. And then when we study more about this guy, Lopez, Aaron Lopez, it gives you more information. I'm not going to go into the details because my throat getting dry, but this is just coming from notice what it says, Jew inverse, right? Jewy verse almost, but Jewish Telegraphic Agency. It says at its prime in the 18th century, Aaron Lopez was the wealthiest man in Newport, Rhode Island. He didn't get that way by taking the moral high ground. Born in 1731 to Portuguese converso Jews, Lopez practices Catholicism openly and Judaism behind closed doors upon resettling in Newport, Rhode Island. So it's making it clear that he was what? The wealthiest man in Newport. So he dominated the slave trade in Newport, Rhode Island. Come on, family. But according to the Jewish community, as we know them, this is considered anti-Semitic. Ron Dalton didn't say that there was no Holocaust, but he mentioned what is listed there based upon Rosenthal's list in his publication. Ron just posted the list that was in that publication of the Ashkenazi Jew Rosenthal. Right? So this is saying that he dominated. Say he was the wealthiest in this area. Echoing similar to the source that I shared with you guys. Right? Let's see if anything else. Notice what it says. Lopez was said to have at least partial ownership of over 30 transoceanic ships and more than 100 coastal vessels. Come on, family. Come on, family. And this is just some additional sources here, right? Confirming what we read here. I'm not going to read all of this, family, because my throat is dry. But Aaron Lopez not only owned slaves and slave ships, he owned at least one slave port. At least, right? And this is just giving some additional information, giving the names of the slave ships and the amount of slaves that he owned on those slave ships. So these are just giving you some additional names of the slave ships, the captains that that was in control of the slave ships, and how many were sold and where they were sold at. All right. So that I'm just skimming through here. All right. So that's what this document is providing here for you guys. All right. I'm just seeing if there's anything I need to read. All right. Let me see here. All right. Let's see. So there was a very high mortality rate on Aaron Lopez slave ships. Let me show you here. It says here, right? Cleopatra, notice the name, quite unexpectedly, so early, arrived at Barbados on January 11, 1771, with a cargo of 96 slaves. And Mary came in about the same time, although the trade on the coast of Africa had been reported extremely dull and the price of slaves high. Nevertheless, something went sour. Haley and Hopkins, Lopez's chief London correspondent, in a letter of June 8th, 1771, to Lopez, acknowledged with concern the disappointment you experienced in the remittance, I can't even say it now, remittance, right? Intended us from Cleopatra's voyage, and they were also in communication with the Riviera about the insurance on the cargo. Probably Cleopatra had experienced a very heavy mortality, for she brought the much higher number of 230 blacks to Barbados on her next voyage. So this is telling you on this particular voyage, there was 230 Negroes on this particular ship, and so many of them died. Why was the mortality rate so high on these slave ships? Well, white cannibalism was on these slave ships, right? This is proving it here. White cannibalism in the slave trade. The curious case of Schooner Arrogante. I'm not going to read all of this, family, but this is just proven, right? As you see here, 330 Africans aboard who all had been embarked at Galenas, excuse me if I'm mispronouncing the word. All of them were liberated soon after the vessel reached Montego Bay, Jamaica, where soon after their arrival, a chilling mystery surrounding the alleged practices carried out by her captain and crew were also brought to the attention of local authorities. Shortly after landing, the captain and crew were accused of killing an African man, cooking his flesh, and serving it to the rest of the slaves on board. Additionally, they were also accused of eating the heart and liver of the murdered man. That is getting into satanic rituals, saying that the crew on the slave ship ate the heart and liver. That is satanic rituals, just that in itself. Come on, family. Right? This is just an article showing how Sam Holt was burnt at the stake and they chopped him up and chopped his body up like it was a piece of meat, sold it for souvenirs. I'm not going to read all of this. I encourage you guys to get this book, 100 Years of Lynching by Ralph Ginsburg. It's a lot of information inside it, right? And that's what this is from. Has a number of articles there of the lynchings, okay? So I'm not going to get into all this. I know I'm bypassing this a little bit, but this is the prophecy of cannibalism in Deuteronomy 28, starting at verse 52. And I'm going to highlight that real quick. That's right. You see on your screen, cannibalism, $200, either $200 or $2. I believe it's $200, but I could be wrong, but because I can't tell if that's a dot or not. A dozen for, as you can see, you know the ears. All right. You see this on the screen here. Okay. Deuteronomy 28:52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trusted throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates throughout all thy land, which Yahweh thy Elohim had given thee. Verse 53. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which Yahweh thy Elohim had given thee in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. So our ancestors was in a siege. They were held captive. They were raptured, which means raped, kidnapped. All right? Abducted. Man. Let's go back here. Hebrews to Negroes book, Hebrews to Negroes, the book contains even more instances of anti-Semitism. The book's fourth chapter, When Did Racism Towards Blacks Start?, the falsely suggested that anti-Black racism can be traced to key Jewish texts. Western education and religion tries to teach the world that Blacks are cursed with their skin color by the curse of Ham or Canaan. This is taught in European Jewish documents and the teachings of the Talmudic book in Judaism. Some can say that it established the basis for Black racism even before the KKK. Notice what is here. Well, but we're going to confirm this, family. What does Ron Dalton say in his book about the curse of Ham? Let's see what he says, and let's see if he's wrong. According to John Blistein, Ron Dalton starts chapter 4 of his book by falsely suggesting that anti-Black racism can be traced back to key Jewish texts. And we're going to confirm this. Is John Blistein correct in his accusation? Did the journalist of the Rolling Stones article properly quote Ron Dalton's book? Let's go to Ron Dalton's book. Let's see what it says. Oftentimes growing up, I wondered that if the original man and woman were white, then where did Black people come from? In the Black church, most African Americans are taught in Sunday school lessons that Adam and Eve are white. Western education and religion tries to teach the world that Blacks are cursed with their skin. So while we at it, let me just play a couple of videos so we can address a couple of things here. I might as well do it here since I have it up here. Let me just go ahead and do I have the video still here? Hopefully I do. Let's deal with Adam. Let's deal with Scientific Adam real quick. Let me play you a clip about Scientific Adam. Let's see what it says. Let's see what they have to say.
Wells comes face to face with the man he's been searching for. A new portrait of the common ancestor of every man today. Adam. Without the skull, we can't know for sure what Adam looked like. But a combination of genetic evidence, Bender's forensic skills, and cutting-edge computer software suggests he looked something like this. Thousands of years after the Bible, and hundreds of years after Michelangelo, we have a whole new face for Adam.
That's right, family. That's right. That's right. But we weren't taught that in Sunday school. We weren't. How many of you guys were taught that in Sunday school? Were you taught about Adam looking like you and I in Sunday school? Were you taught? I'm going to end this poll here. Were you taught, family? I know I wasn't taught in Sunday school. You know, the Jehovah's Witnesses have videos of a Caucasian Adam, right? You know that the Mormons, you know that in Judaism, all of them teach Caucasian, but they don't tell you about they don't teach a Negro Adam. That's a whole nother discussion about what the Jewish community as we know them, what they teach about Adam. But let's play one more video. And this is about Eve, because we dealt with Adam. So now let's deal with Eve real quick. All right. And then we'll give some shout outs shortly here. Got to get caught up with the contributions. Really appreciate you guys for the contributions. Really appreciate it. So let me play a short clip about Eve.
I was very excited when I first started to get evidence, and it was so counterintuitive. I'd put 20 Europeans and 20 African Americans on a sheet of X-ray film, and every African American showed differences, and all the Europeans looked the same. And I thought I'd mislabeled something, or I thought I'd made some drastic mistake. And we kept repeating and repeating things. And as we got more samples from different areas, I realized that it was a difference in the pattern, and that this whole new type of evidence based on mitochondria was going to change the way we thought about modern humans.
And let me play one more video about Negroid bones in ancient Israel.
Their bones were discovered in Kafse caves near Nazareth in Galilee in 1933. 13 fragile skeletons, one a woman, a tiny baby at her feet. When these bones were first uncovered, they were the oldest complete modern human skeletons ever found.
The numerous skeletons that have been found in caves in Israel at the sites of Kafse and Shkul show us that there were modern humans outside of Africa over 100,000 years ago.
Challenge!
Come on, family. Come on, family. I know we're giving a lot of information. All right. So let's go back here. Western education and religion tries to teach the world that blacks are cursed with their skin. So according to John Blistein, Ron Dalton starts chapter 4 of his book by falsely suggesting that anti-black racism can be traced back to key Jewish texts. All right. So is John Blistein correct with his accusations? Right. Let's go directly to Ron Dalton's book and notice what you see here. Right. Oftentimes growing up, I wondered that if the original man and woman were white, then where did black people come from? In the black church, most African Americans are taught in Sunday school lessons that Adam and Eve are white. Western education and religion tries to teach the world that blacks are cursed with their skin color by the curse of Ham and Canaan. Curse of Ham and Canaan. This is also taught in European Jewish documents and in the teachings of the Talmud book in Judaism. Can say that it established the base for black racism before the KKK. In the Jewish Torah Anthology, Volume 1, pages 392 and 393, the details of the true origins of the slanderous belief that blacks received the punishments, curses from Canaan reads the following. So Ron Dalton made a mention of this Jewish source that Rolling Stone article did not mention. He's making a reference to Jewish Torah Anthology, right? He definitely manipulated the quotes. So what's also misleading from John Blistein quotes, because I started with that first one right here, how he wrote it was misleading, right? What's also missing from John Blistein quotes is Ron Dalton's listed source. So we see the quotes missing, actual quotes missing in his article, but we also see the source missing from his article. He didn't list the Jewish source inside that article, right? If we go back here, right? Let's go back here. He lists the source in Jewish Torah Anthology, Volume 1, page 392 through 393. Slanderous beliefs that black received the punishment curses from Canaan reads as the following. Because he, Ham, looked at his father, naked father Noah, his eyes became red, always appearing bloodshot, referring to Africans. Because he, Ham, mockingly told his brothers about his father's condition, his lips were made thick and gross like those of a Negro. Because he, Ham, turned his head to see his father Noah, the hair of his head and beard became kinky. Because he did not cover his father, it was decreed that he always go naked and blackened by the sun. So is Ron Dalton giving a direct quote from this book? Well, I'm glad you guys asked. Is he misleading? Well, glad you guys asked. Let's go to the book because I got the book. Come on, family. This is how you do an accurate fact check. And we're fact checking right now. This is on page 392, right? I have the actual book. This is me scanning the book, right? So I can put it, add it in this presentation. God deals with each person measure for measure, making the punishment fit the crime and the reward fit the virtuous deed. Each of Noah's 3 sons were paid accordingly. Ham received 5 punishment because he looked at his father, naked father. He eyes, it should be his eyes, became red, always appearing bloodshot. Number 2, because he mockingly told his brothers about his father's condition, his lips were made thick and gross like those of a Negro, right? And this is what we're dealing with right here. Let me zoom in just to make sure you guys see it here. That's this here. Because he turned his head to see his father, the hair of his head and beard became kinky. We see here, lips were made thick and gross like those of a Negro. This is coming directly out of this book. I just thought I'd zoom it in just to make sure that you guys understand this. These are not my words. It's not words of Ron Dalton. This is coming directly out of this book, right? Number 4, because he did not cover his father, it was decreed that he always go naked. We thus see that slaves in Egypt go naked. They even did so in their cities. This was not because of poverty, since it is impossible to imagine that none of them would have enough money to do money to buy clothing. The reason is that they live in a hot, damp climate, and it is uncomfortable to wear clothing. The reason for this is their geographical location. Since the Hamitic tribe live in the tropical climes, it was the curse that caused them to live there. They must therefore go naked and blackened by the sun. All right. When we go back to Ron Dalton's source here, and it's highlighting what we just read. Right? These are all what we just read. Let me see here. He highlights the Sanhedrin. He's giving sources here. Right? All right. Okay. So I'm just highlighting some stuff here. I'm not going to read all of this because of my throat getting dry. I'm trying to clear my throat. Let's go back to this book and we'll see it here. This is what I highlighted. Entry number 4. All right. Because he did not cover his father, it was decreed that he always go naked. All right. And blackened by the sun. It was this curse that caused them to live there. All right. Let's see here. It was this curse that caused them to live there. Okay. Going back here. And you just see here, all right? Noah foresaw that many descendants of Japheth would convert to Judaism and they would dominate the sons of Canaan. So are there other rabbinical sources that proves or provides information about the curse of Ham? Absolutely. You guys already know this. Where did this teaching originate? Glad you guys asked. Barakas 58b. We see it here. This is in the Talmud, right? This is comparing Negroes to monkeys, to apes, called us strange creatures. Okay, I'm not going to read this, but I'm just highlighting what's on the screen. One singing an elephant, an ape, or a long-tailed ape. Blessed is he who makes strange creatures. Then we go to Sanhedrin 108b. 3 copulated in the ark, and they were all punished, the dog, raven, and Ham. Ham was smitten in the skin. And then the footnotes, it says, an example from him descended Cush, the Negro, who is black-skinned. That's in the Talmud, right? So the influence of Judaism on religions such as Jehovah's Witnesses. We see quotes from the Watchtower. I'm not going to read this. I'm just giving you some or some information out of their books. Watchtower 1909, July 15th, page 215 to 216. All right. You see what it says here? All right. We are not able to determine to a certainty that the sons of Ham and Canaan are Negroes. Right. This is another one of their sources still dealing with the same thing. It is generally believed that the curse of Noah pronounced upon Canaan was the origin of the black race. It's right here. Right? Still giving more information here. Okay. Let me continue here. We see it with the Mormons. All right. The mark of Cain. Right? We see it here. Cain, Ham, and the whole Negroid race have been cursed with a black skin, the mark of Cain. So is John Blistein correct with his accusations? No, he lied, because it is in the Jewish doctrine, the curse of Cain. All right, family. So we just covered a lot here. All right. So this is start getting into the worship of Lucifer. And we'll just pause right here because I can't go through all of this. My throat is really bothering me right now. I did a lot. I went overtime here. But family, we'll continue this next week. We'll do part 2 next week. And we have to go over the book of Jubilees and Enoch as well. I'm going to take a pause because I don't want my throat to be completely out. But I hope and pray that this helps you guys, give you more than enough to go off of. I thank you guys for the love and support. Let me go ahead and give some shout outs here before we wrap up. Private C, want to give you shout outs here. Really appreciate it. Roar, sons and daughters of Judah, praise Abba Yahuwah, praise the Most High. Hallelujah. Appreciate the love and support. Tanya Horton, thank you for the super sticker. Really appreciate the love and support. We have, let's see here, Carla Kimmons, thank you for the love and support. Thank you for the super sticker. Again, I want to thank Sister Light to the Nations. Thank you for always having great reporting and receipts. Really appreciate you. Thank you again, Sister Light to the Nations. Adrian Drayton, thank you for the love and support. Really appreciate it. Be concentrated for Yahweh. Thank you for the love and support. Lisa Jackson for the multiple contributions tonight. Thank you again. Really appreciate the love and support. T of Yah, thank you. Finding my true self. Thank you again, sis. Really appreciate it. Let's see here. Araya Alahayim. I want to thank you as well for the love and support again. And Michael Dukamen, thank you as well. So, family, I really appreciate the love and support. And thank you guys for the participation tonight. We covered a lot. And again, as you can see, it's very extensive with this lesson. We'll pick it up next week. I'm going to drop a video tomorrow. Be on the lookout. We're going to continue to open you guys' eyes up with the stuff that is going on around us. No longer are we going to walk around oblivious to what's going on. I got some receipts that I'm going to show tomorrow, especially for many of us that are part of organizations or wanting to start up an organization. The video I'm going to upload tomorrow should raise some questions and really provoke you to discernment. All right. So really appreciate it, family. In the words, as we wrap up here, in the words of the Most High, Yahweh, to the Israelites in Exodus chapter 14, verse 13 and 14, the words that he gave to Moses to encourage the people, he said to Moses to share these words to the Israelites. Fear ye not, stand still and see the salvation of Yahweh. These Egyptians that you see here today will never have power over you again. The Most High will fight for you. But here's the kicker, family. We have to hold our peace. Can't go back. Can't stay here. Keep moving forward. Shalom.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11, verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14, verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was black. Abraham, born in the city of a black man, called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were
I'm so glad you're here because you can bring great clarity. Can you tell us a little bit about the Sephardic Jews and how they were scattered because they went west?
I sure can.
Because the reason why I want to is because a lot of them, and a lot of people don't know this, are in the Caribbean.
They are.
In the islands.
And you're one of them. I know that.
I'm one of them.
I know that.
Because, you know, a lot of folk don't know that those roots are there. One of the first batches of slaves that came to Jamaica, they were the Sephardic Jews. It's documented.
And they're all over the Caribbean, South America, Central America, and even the South Central United States.
Wow.
And DNA testing is a factor in all this now.